or good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Got my coffee, so cheers to all of 0 people here. All right, while I'm waiting for people to pull in, I'm gonna go grab some water to fill the tower. I'll be right back. I'm back. Hang on one sec. I hear you, Yellow Tower. I hear you, hear you. All right, the Yellow Tower just powered off because she's out of water, so I'm gonna get her filled. What's up, everybody? Pro Pyro, good morning. Wafiz, good morning or good afternoon. Bernie, what's up? Ganix, what's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. Guess what I got going in the grow tent today? A dehumidifier, yay. I don't know if it's working. It's been running since 7 a.m. and every time I check the reservoir, there's no water. So we'll see if by the end of the day, there's no water in the reservoir, because the humidity fluctuates throughout the day regardless, based on the temperature just of the outside environment, outside of the grow tent. And so, yeah, but I'm excited because I got my shit together and we got a dehumidifier. It's also like really loud in here. I also should turn off my orange tower lights just to keep it a little cooler. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Happy Saturday. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're all having a great day so far. I'm just gonna fill the Yellow Tower so that I can turn it back on. All right. We got water. We got a dehumidifier. Yeah, so mine, I thought it wasn't working. I'm an idiot and I had it on the wrong mode the whole time. And if you have it on a certain mode, the compressor doesn't work. And so I put it on continuous mode, which it's supposed to just constantly have the compressor on and constantly be dehumidifying. And I was testing it in my house, but the house's humidity is pretty low, so it wasn't getting any water. And I've been testing it for like 2 days now. So I just thought to myself, you know what? Let me just stick it in the tent, because if it's anywhere it's gonna work, it's gonna be in the tent, because This morning, we were at 70%. Honestly, I'm just waiting to lose the rest of my garden at this point. It is a struggle. So yesterday I had a nice little tomato harvest, which was great. This morning I came down to check things out. Yeah, I think cucumber plant might be infected. I can't tell, you know, some of these spots, definitely nutrient deficiency. I checked my pH this morning and it was way too high, and then it was 6.4 and it should be 6.6. And I also checked my ppm and it was only 600, and by now it should be at least at 1500. So I added in more bloom this morning. Tomorrow I'll probably add some CalMag, and I'll just continue to work my way back up with the feeding. Unfortunately, I've been so disorganized the last couple of weeks, and I've been so busy putting out other fires that I haven't done anything to really tend to my plants. So I don't know, we'll see what happens with these. I thinking I might just get rid of this plant and start a new cucumber plant just to be safe. So today is going to be really about cleaning things up. Again, for those of you that just joined, I'm having some environmental issues, which is causing me grief because I'm getting things like mildew on my plants, and once you get something like that, it's really difficult to eliminate. And so right now I had to get rid of, or not right now, but earlier in the week I had to get rid of 24 plants total. And the Wickershire always makes me laugh. Holy shit, she got the wife beater. I'm gonna smack all of you. Yeah, someone bring wife to beat. I'm just kidding. So yeah, we're not going to be adding any new plants unless it's one cucumber plant and maybe a couple of flowers. I want one cucumber plant and one zinnia plant, but no more plants to the buckets. We're actually going to take what's currently in the buckets and we are to spread everything out among both systems to create more space, better airflow, and just finish off the run with the best yields that possibly get. So that's the plan. So not all is lost with this bucket system. It's just more about rearranging things and utilizing the space so that not everything's crammed in one bucket system and then I've got 2 plants in the other one. So yes, a lot of fun. So I don't know exactly what I'm gonna end up focusing on today. It's one of those things where we're gonna walk over to the buckets, I'm gonna take a look, and I'm just gonna start doing shit. And either today or tomorrow we'll eat pepper rehab. I gotta take the peppers out of their buckets. There's 2 of them that need to be repotted. A couple of them need trim, and absolutely the Wickershire, less overcrowding. That is the goal. So we're gonna take lemons and make lemonade. But yeah, I feel motivated. And then worst comes to worst, I have a friend that has a dehumidifier for me, just in case mine doesn't work. Like by the end of the day, I'm gonna go pick it up. But you know what? I feel like it is kind of working because it does feel a little drier in here. When I set up the dehumidifier, it said 67, and now it's showing 63. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see. Don't touch that pepper, Nat. Such success. I actually probably am going to rehome both of them into their own buckets. They're sharing a bucket right now, and even though I cleared up a lot of the chaos, I'll show you guys in a minute. They would thrive maybe in their own home, but we're gonna see. I'm thinking the second bucket system is just gonna be all peppers. That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna play a little bit of Tetris today, you guys. It's gonna be fun. Yes, so Ganix is asking, do I have a goal RH that I'm shooting for? So I read that when veg are in the flowering stage, you want between 45 and 55, but try to keep it, so I'm going to try to keep it around 50%. Seedlings or younger plants that are in the vegetative state require higher humidity. So my goal is to kind of average it out. I mean, by the time I regulate the humidity, my stuff that's in the second bucket systems that were considered seedlings, I mean, technically everything except for the eggplant is flowering. So technically I could just shoot for flowering state numbers, which is probably around 50%. That's what I'm aiming for. And then if at that point I feel like I've assessed my plants and they're still not 100%, then we will continue to decrease the humidity. Yes, Wickershire, relative humidity is RH. You have the water line to the dehumidifier plumbed out. Nope, I'm gonna just show you guys the dehumidifier, right? It's really old, it's a Whirlpool. I picked it up used. And so right now it's not on continuous mode. I set it for 45%, and right now it's showing it's at 63%. So I don't know, every time I open the tray, I'm not seeing any condensation or moisture. Yeah, there's like nothing in here, so I'm really not convinced that it's working. The filter and the radiator are on this side, and then the compressor's on the other side. And I thought maybe there was like a fuse, but it's because I had it on the wrong mode that the compressor wasn't turning on. But anyways, it's on. I can hear the compressor, and I also have this little thing that shows the voltage it's pulling, so I can see it's pulling for a compressor. So I don't know. Anyways, we'll see. It's so humid in here that if by the end of the day it doesn't collect any moisture, I'll pick up the other one that I have lined up, and by tomorrow I'm going to get this issue under control. Good morning, Main Dad. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Frank. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, today is kind of about, all right, let's get back on the horse, you know? We have to know if it's working. Yes, well, I maxed it out, set the lowest setting. I know I did. I set it to the lowest humidity possible so that it can, you know, work quickly and try to dehumidify as much as possible. But yesterday I had it running in my house for about 12 hours. And I mean, my house isn't really humid because I do have air conditioning on. So it's hard to say. I thought maybe it's not collecting moisture because it's just not humid enough. Like there's not enough moisture in the air to accumulate in the reservoir. So then this morning I'm like, you know what? F this. I'm not gonna freaking waste any more time and test it in my house anymore. I'm just gonna bring it right down to 10, power it up, and I'll find out quite quickly if it works or not, because it is really humid in here. So fingers crossed. Yes, absolutely. AC pulls a ton of water, which is why I decided that testing it in the home, like on the main floor, is a good idea, because I'm not going to get a true sense of whether it's working or not, because there's probably not much moisture to pull. So right now, you know, if I look at my probes where my my Spider Farmer fans are, I'll show you guys. Good morning, Les. Sweet designs you posted in the community, by the way. It looks like Xena the Warrior Princess. So now here it's showing at 65. I don't know what my Pulse app is showing just yet because I haven't checked, but this morning, or about an hour before I got on the live, it was around, I think, 64, and this morning it was at 72. So it is going down, but that usually tends to happen throughout the day as the AC is on. So I don't know. We'll see. but here I've got, why can't I see it, 66. And yeah, I don't know what it is on the pulse. I've also, like I said, I moved my fans around, and I have moving leaves and better air circulation. So what I'm trying to facilitate, especially for the strawberries, is a cooler section. So I told you guys this yesterday already, but the strawberries were on the other side of the dahlia plant, so beside the watermelon, and it was too crowded here. What's up, Jackass? Good morning. Happy Saturday. So I moved the strawberry plant to the edge of the grow, not like in the center of the lights. And hopefully with this fan here, I turned it full blast, and girls are getting a nice breeze now. So I'm hopeful that with the cool air, it'll help kind of decrease the point a little bit. Or I don't even know if that's how it works, but I imagine the moisture on the leaf surface will decrease if there's wind blowing on it. So we'll see. So I'm gonna take you on a quick tent tour, and then I don't really have any like structured plan for today. Like there's no specific project. It's kind of, let's just hang out and see what we can move around and play some Tetris. All right, so let's do this. And I apologize if it's very noisy. There's a lot of background noise, and normally during my lives, I turn down the lights, I turn down the exhaust, I turn down the fans, and I make it comfortable for me in here so that I don't feel like I'm yelling, even though nobody's talking back to me. So I don't really need to yell, but anyways, it's very loud in here, and I don't want to disrupt the environment. So everything is staying as is moving forward when I do my lives. And if I have to wear PPE while I'm in here, then I will. And for those of you that don't know PPE, it's protective equipment, you know? All right. What is up, Palmetto? Good morning. In my opinion, 4 slot is for like growing fast things like leafy greens, lettuce, big plant, vining tomato, 1 or 2 plants. 100%, except actually bell peppers. I'm gonna try to pull up an old picture or video for you guys to do on the green screen tomorrow. My first grow, I had all the 4 vessel buckets, these ones over here. They were all filled with bell peppers, every vessel, every bucket, and it was perfect. They did great. They did really well. So it depends what it is. I find that peppers are so, I don't know how to describe it. Like, they have such good defenses against diseases that I'm not too concerned about the peppers issues. But the more that I'm looking at the cucumber plant, I'm thinking I should get rid of it right now, because we've got some, like, I don't know, this could be a nutrient deficiency, but it's kind of starting to look like how the other one looked, and I don't want to risk anything. I got multiple cucumbers already, and so I think I might make the call. Yeah, you've got, oh, medical courier, cool. Yeah, you've got to gear up, that's for sure. And especially in here, you know, the lights are bright. I've had several people tell me that even facing away from the lights, the reflective mylar, you know, picks up on that, and it's not good for your eyes. So a lot of these lives, I probably will be wearing my glasses. When I'm working under the lights, sometimes I even rock my hat just because I can actually feel like my head freaking burning. You ready? Tour, here we go. So first, germinating seeds that will be going in one of the grow towers. We'll see how the green grow tower does, because it is quite humid in here, so I don't know what the lettuce is going to be like. We've got tons of chives, kale, lettuce, our squash, jackashes. There's the squash. But now I'm having second thoughts about the squash, only because they're susceptible to mildews, just like everything else. working in high voltage electrical, even with PPE, we still know we could die. I mean, yes, the reality of it, right? Light bounces off everything. I'd get a double sunburn. Oh, wow. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yellow grow tower. I just filled it with some water. Got to get nutrients in there, but we've got flowers all over the place. The celosia are finally starting to flower. When these get big, they look so freaking cool. I call them Dr. Seuss flowers. Parsley coming along nice. Again, I harvest parsley every single day. So the fact that it's still growing and coming back is awesome. I got a lot of flowers happening over here. This is just one plant in a 2-inch net pot, which is crazy. And then sage. Mustard leaf is actually thriving now that I've moved it. And yeah. And then we've got our basil down there. And oh my gosh, I hope that's just a nutrient deficiency. It should be, because I haven't added nutrient in a while. The green tower is looking rough. I've been harvesting every day, but because it got so humid, the lower leaves aren't very happy. But there's new growth, and so I'm going to be consuming that. But the lettuce is still great. Like, it still tastes great. Everything's good, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, it is quite, how do I call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Not abundant, but it's just filling up like crazy. We got our chicory. We got our blush butter oak lettuce that's trying to grow, but other things are kind of just in the way of it. So got to start harvesting more. Thanks so much, MF Clone. Appreciate you. Happy Saturday. Have a great weekend. Arc flash instance. Oh, what do you guys do for work? Are you electricians or something? Yeah, what does everybody do? I want to get to know the people in the chat. Drop something about yourself. It could be anything. Your name, your hobby, what you do for a living. I want to get to know you guys. I feel like all I do is talk about me. So, well, my plants. But, all right. So moving on, the cucumbers are looking rough. I'm not getting any new growth. I have one cucumber to harvest and a few that appeared like they were on their way, but I think I'm gonna get rid of this plant. It's showing some signs of sketchiness, which I'm not happy about, and the longer I leave it here, the longer everything else is at risk. So I think I'm gonna make the call, and maybe next week we're gonna start some cucumber seeds and get some new cucumbers growing. Moving on. Tomatoes, oh my gosh, so the flavor is getting better and better as I work on the nutrients. I've been pushing the nutrients and adding more than I ever have to try to get a larger fruit and a better flavor. And finally, I'm getting to that point. I'm getting a really nice flavor, very sweet. They do have that snap, so they're kind of chewy at first, and then they just got like a really well-rounded flavor. Worst damn game ever. I like your handle. This is dope. I just set up an 8x4 garage for the winter. Can't wait for next year. Outdoors. Awesome. Happy growing. That sounds great. What are you going to grow in there? I'm very curious. I'm getting a touch of female blossoms on my cucumber, but not one female. Oh no. Happy Saturday, Colton. Thank you so much. It's definitely looking better after I lost a lot of plants. I lost over 20 plants this week, and we're just kind of recovering from that. Limb, I do not, but it might be in the future, plans soon. I'm honestly really intimidated by it, and as you guys saw, I think I may have bitten off more than I can chew, no pun intended, this last week with, all my systems filled at once. I think I took a little more than I could handle at this stage in my learning experience. And so it's going to eventually happen, just not right now. But maybe, I don't know, maybe in a few months, we'll see. Maybe at the end of the run, I'll reconsider and make a decision. Hasholio is asking, how's the humidity and temperature in there? Well, I'm testing my dehumidifier. I picked up a used one. I've been testing it in the house, and I don't know if it's working or not, so hopefully it'll start working in here. It's been on 7, so the humidity is decreasing as we speak. This morning it was at 72. I freaked the F out. Now it's down to 62, and the temperature is at 70. Under the buckets or the lights, it's 74. So 74 with an RH of around 60 right now, which is not good, but yeah, doing my best. Growing MJ is easier than most of what you grow in that tent. Wow, that makes me feel really confident about it then. Palmetto. 40-year-old father of 7, combat veteran, landlord, hot sauce manufacturer, and homesteader. That is so awesome on all fronts. You should totally share your, I don't know if it's your hot sauce brand, but if any of you guys have like a business or, you know, a page or something, throw it out there in the chat. Let's all support each other. So thank you for sharing, Palmetto. We're all trying to get to know each other in here. Worst Andy ever says, I have tomatoes, small bells, pineapple, cool, broccoli, celery, garlic, potatoes, strawberry, and a bunch of plants we are nursing in pots. Hey, worst damn game ever. Let me ask you something. How do you get your strawberries to be not soft? Because I know your next question's asking about fans. So I have 2 intake fans, one up here, one up there. I have an exhaust fan over there, and then I've got some insulating fans here. I've got 2 on the way, and I've got another one here. So I know airflow isn't my strong suit right now, and I'm working on it. Something about nothing. What up? Thank you for being here. Yeah, legend. I'm honored. I've never been called a legend before. I have many irons in the fire. Nothing pays the bills by itself. I take Saturdays off every. Wow. Well, I'm honored that you choose to spend your day off here with Palmetto. Thank you. And I can appreciate all the hard work you do. That seems like you've got your hands full. And thank you. I appreciate you. Happy Saturday, Ray. Hope you're having a great day so far. Yes, Wickershire. The strawberries are heat stressed, which is why I've got a fan right on her. And the other day, I was sitting by the plant, and it is a little cooler now. It's a little chilly. So continuing on, I got distracted. I'm gonna move on to the rest of the buckets. So those were the tomato plants. We've got 9 of them. If I go around the side in a minute, you'll see we've got a lot of flowers happening. The root growth, now that I trim the roots, is insane. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of this cucumber plant today. Here's the strawberry. Definitely doing better. And the watering is only on for 10 seconds every minute. I increased it because I find that if I have it on less frequently, shit just builds up in the lines, and it causes me grief. So I'm gonna have to cut all these. I don't know what I'm gonna do. They smell incredible. They're just too soft. Absolutely, Wickershire, you are 100% right. How big of a, do you mean reservoir? I don't know what that word is. I'm gonna Google it. I haven't had huge luck in the past with strawberries, so I'm going. Do you think drippers are better for strawberries? That's interesting. My reservoir is really small. It just holds 25 liters of water. I usually have it covered, but I was just filling it for the live. But yeah, it's just the water return has to go somewhere, and these systems didn't come with a, whatchamacallit, with a larger res, so I'm just using this for now. I also decreased my watering here, but it looks like we need more water. Air intake should be low and the exit should be high. I mean, I have my air intake full blast right now. Maybe if I turn it down, it might actually help with the humidity. So that's a good point. It hurts my heart to hear people struggling through strawberries. They're so prolific in my climate. I plant them outside and they have to be contained. I mean, they're growing like crazy and I'm getting tons of fruit. It's just the quality of the fruit is not good. Oh, so this is all like ebb and flow recirculation. Yes, it is. Strawberries don't like deep water culture. They do well in NFT. Well, I mean, you can always try them in the grow tower. That was the initial plan because the water kind of like trickles downward. And so it's more of like a drip versus a mist. But I've actually read the contrary. I've read that strawberries, because this is high pressure aeroponics. And I know a lot of people call it deep water culture. And to be honest, I don't really know the difference. Is high pressure aeroponic the same thing as deep water culture? I don't know. Just set up my flower run like that last fall and less highs and lows. Nice. Deep water and aerobic sexy talk. How big is your reservoir? LOL. Mine's bigger than yours. Not the speed of the down by the floor. Oh. You guys, I feel like such an idiot. I'm such a literal thinker. Well, that's not a problem. I can definitely move those down. Not a problem at all. Grow towers are X strawberries. Well, you know, the initial plant was, or the initial plant. Did I say the initial plant? The initial plan was to fill up the yellow tower just strawberries. But yeah, we'll see what happens. The exhaust fan, it's see, the exhaust fan is exhausting low. Maybe it should exhaust, like maybe it should be the opposite. I don't know. Anyways, this is the exhaust. Didn't pick an easy option with the aeroponic system anyways. See, to me, I feel like it is. I love it so much more than soil. Don't come at me. It's just because I've probably grown in soil enough, but I think aeroponics has been such a wonderful way to grow. Everything grows so quickly, and I am very new. I've never gardened prior to this period. So for me to have gotten to it's already huge. Now you wait until my 70,000 gallon rainwater pond is and expect the oh my gosh, I love that. You'll definitely have to do a reel to that song. No, it is. It looks like an 8-inch. I don't know. I'd have to go look at the box. Indoor strawberry farm close to uses a gutter hydro system that has them all at head height. Berries when hang down the edges for easy picking. Yeah. So exhaust should be high. Intake should be low. Right. But I have it the opposite. Exhaust is low. And the intake, actually no, the intake is low and so is the exhaust. So I should actually be exhausting out here versus down here, which is not an issue. I can easily move that. Aeroponics is neat, especially if you have a short grow season. I prefer gardening with as little effort as possible, and my climate allows me to grow outside. So yes, you're fortunate. Plants absorb CO2 through the bottom of their leaf. I did not know that. See, I really have a lot to learn. I'm totally YouTube whipped. I don't do anything to earn strikes. Some swearing in your songs. In fact, the music is probably available on YouTube for you to use. So yeah, back to the strawberries. I've got a bunch of them. They're producing. It's just we've got to work on the quality of the fruit. So we got, see, they're soft. We've got more here. They're beautiful. They're sweet AF. And they smell freaking incredible. They're just too soft. So normally I have the knot kind of like turned so that the strawberries can just hang. But I was just pruning her a little bit this morning and giving her just a little makeover to make sure she's got some good airflow. But she looks healthy. And then we've got our little clone here and a little clone that I moved over there. And finally, it's taking off now that it's got its own little space. And then I'll just show you the other side of the tomatoes. They're doing so much better. We've got a lot of flowering now. I do see a little bit of, you know, nutrient deficiency, but we're getting that back on track. Some nice clusters. And 1 second and 4 seconds off. See, the challenge is that it's sharing a home with all of these other things that require more frequent watering. So something to rethink next time. It involves better planning, right? To consider what I'm growing, what the requirements are, and plants with similar requirements. So we have a lot of new flowers here. We're gonna have a lot of tomatoes soon. And then we took clones from these plants and put them in the second bucket system. So I kind of spread them out yesterday, just to make the bucket system look a little more full. And look at this tomato cluster. That's so crazy. It's like a double cluster. And yeah, we got another plant over there. And then, so I have reduced the watering so many times. Yesterday I had the watering at, I think it was on for 2 minutes, or sorry, on for 10 seconds, off for 2 minutes. But the problem is that frequency it's too low of a frequency because I'm not getting, I think there's like sediment building up in my system. So I'm gonna have to rethink the way I use High Clean and implement it correctly from the beginning. And right now it's kind of too late. Like, I can take all my lines apart and clear everything out so that I can decrease the watering frequency. But if I do that right now at this point in time, I've noticed a correlation between cloggage and reducing the water. Every time I reduce the water, the lines seem to have more time for the build to kind of like harden and dry out, not allowing for things to get watered properly. The more frequently I have the water going, the more often it can get cleared out, and then I don't have that problem as much. So right now I'm using both Bloom and Grow General Hydroponics, and I'm also using the GH CalMag. But even Les has a friend who owned a hydro shop, and he suggested that use the other line, the Flora series, because the Flora Nova is just too it's not water soluble enough. So I don't know. She looks like she's starting a risky business right now, LOL. What nutrients are you using? No, General Hydroponics. No organics and aeroponics. It should be a sterile system. I didn't think that this is organic, but I am going to be switching my nutrients soon to something cleaner for sure. So maybe we need a way to dump water in the lines after watering. Well, it circulates into the reservoir, and then I get a bunch of crap in the reservoir. Organics will clog your misters. That's exactly what's happening. And so every single day I need to unscrew my misters and screw them back on just to make sure they freaking work. It's such a pain, and I'm already so far into the grow that not much I can do now. Even if I start using a different fertilizer, it's not going to make a difference if the clog is already there, you know? And moving on, my dahlia plant is ready to start flowering. We've got our first bud right there, which is exciting. And I had to get rid of 3 other ones. As soon as I got rid of all their watermelons and cut everything off this plant, today I have new growth and a new flower, which is crazy. It is a new filter pig. Also, I clean it like every day. I've also got my sugar baby watermelon. It's still growing, still coming along. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Chinese 5-color pepper plants. So now you can kind of get a better look at them. I have 2 of them, and they're currently sharing a bucket. They're doing beautifully well. 5 colors per plant. I chop a pepper up every day, have it as like a spicy seasoning. Jay, there is no bud. Maybe in the future. We'll see. But yeah, so I do have a little bit of a nutrient deficiency with my peppers, but we're getting the nutrients back on track. And yeah, they're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They're looking a little rough today. Again, I got to get my feeding back on track. It's been a hell of a week, you guys. Same with the watering. I had issues with the watering. Now we're back on track. So these are 2 of the ones I have to get repotted. Got to get rid of the clay. Too much debris. And yeah, these plants aren't happy. We've got a little habanero plant here. And we've got some jalapenos here. I mean, I've been harvesting every day, so there isn't much left. Jalapenos. And then the bell peppers, still waiting on some new growth. We got some here. The F is that? I have never seen... What the... You guys, I feel like I have to put googly eyes on this pepper. And this is like a tongue sticking out. What the... Stangman, it's a 10 by 20. Yes, those are Chinese 5-color peppers, Bernie. They are beautiful. They're very, very spicy, but they're freaking stunning. They start off as like this bright, vibrant purple. Then they kind of go like a lighter purple to like this beige. Then like a pale yellow. Then like this. And then from orange, they eventually go to red. Beautiful. That's a lot of water. I never use pH up or down with the GH. It always keeps pH on point. But what is that? Can we just talk about this for a minute? This, sorry, I lost you guys for a minute. Are you back? Are you back? Yes, it's a pepper that grows inside of a pepper because it's got the bud here. That is so cool. I'm going to put googly eyes on it and make it look like a pepper with its tongue sticking out. I haven't checked my EC in a little while. I just started checking it and learning about it. So one thing I will tell you guys, very new at this, I don't really know a lot, and so a lot of it I'm learning, and so I'm not really sure what my EC should be at. I feel like it should be at like 2,000 right now or 1,500. I mean, I can check it, and it's probably way off because I haven't fed my plants properly. I really dropped the ball the last couple of weeks, guys. It's been really bad. It's been stressful. Everything is in high pressure aeroponics. Twin peppers, yeah. Yes, the pepper needs a mohawk. Oh my gosh, you guys, we're gonna do it. I had a tomato one time that looked like it had a nose, LOL. My PPFD right now is at 500. Normally I'd have it even higher, but because I had seedlings, your PPFD has to be a little lower, and so I'm trying to average everything out. You know, when I started this tent, I was even less experienced than I am now, and in hindsight, I would split these lights and split the buckets and do things differently, create 2 separate environments, one for one growth stage and one for another growth stage. That way I don't have to, you know, worry so much about sacrificing some plants for others. So yeah, PPFD is 500 and the DLI was 270 something, I don't remember. And I would like to have my humidity at 50%, try to keep my temperature at 74-ish percent, or not percent, sorry, just 74 degrees. And see, the EC and the ppm is still what I'm learning about. I'm struggling here. So I have my EC meter. I'm just going to check it. So I don't know what the optimal EC should be for flowering stage of veggies, but right now my EC is at 1548. I know that's backwards. I know you guys can't see it. 1548. So I feel like that's low. Yes, all I do is try to monitor my VPD. I try to keep it between 1.1 and 1.2 kPa. Again, I'm still learning about VPD, but I'm trying. It's just, honestly, it's such a learning curve for me. But I'm doing my best to maintain the temperature, maintain the humidity, maintain the VPD, make sure the water temperature is good, the pH is good, the EC is good, the lights are good, and it's all a part of the learning process, you guys. So things are best starting low and working way up with EC ppm, work your way up till you see burnt tips, then lower a little. Well, we'll see. So again, ppm this morning was 600, but then I added in more nutrients, so I'm actually going to check it really quick before we get started with the peppers. Looks like they might be one of those long streams, you guys. Sometimes I talk too much. Thank you so much for saying that, Farmer Don. Won't we all? I hope we all grow with experience. Just like the plants grow, we grow as well. Ever think of going with live soil? Yeah, I've actually got a lemon seedling that I'm trying to get to fruit. I just gave it some nutrients yesterday. It's looking rough though. But it is having soil, and I also have an outdoor garden in soil. But I'm in Canada, and the climate only allows for like 3 months of growing, which sucks. So I have no choice but to grow indoors if I want to grow all year round. All right, so my ppm this morning was at 600. I added in some newts. I'm at 774. That's like 50% too low. I think it should be at 1500. I'll have to Google it just to make sure. And yeah. What's up, Debt Squad? Happy Saturday. Thank you for being here. We know the struggle. Yes, it is a struggle. Oh, we know the struggle of small tents can make people chase the environment too. Yeah, but you know what? I feel like it's even more challenging with a big tent. Thank you so much, Stang Man. Appreciate you. Pig says soil's good, but indoors give too much chance to bring pests inside for me. Absolutely, which is why I've got my sticky sticks in the soil just in case. Forget about VPD. People have been growing without knowing it for thousands of years. Yes, Hasholio. However, if spending money to run this tent, I've got to optimize it to justify the cost, right? So if having the optimal VPD is going to help me have a better, faster, more productive yield, then I'm going to try to achieve that, because I got to justify this, right? It consumes water, consumes electricity. I spend all my time working down here, and so I really have to justify the cost. Thanks so much, Death Squad. Things are definitely looking up. I've got my dehumidifier. I'm not sure if it's in yet, but hopefully it is. And if not, I have a backup plan that I could have in my hand by the end of the day. So I don't know where I put them. So I'm excited about that. Things are back on track, you guys, or at least trying. But I'm tired. Honestly, it's been a brutal week. I haven't not slept. I keep having dreams about, or nightmares for that matter, of my humidity. I'm in the middle ground in cocoa just now. Nice. A lot of people grow in cocoa, and then they have like a drip system, which is probably more manageable actually. Farmer Don says 1500 ppm is great in flower. EC is typically twice the ppm. Okay, so my EC is way too low, and so is my ppm. VPD is something for stone to discuss while they're waiting on their harvest. Well, yeah, I don't know. I consider it because I think it's an important key factor to monitor when you're growing indoors on this scale. Ever since I started paying attention to my VPD, like if you guys go through my journey, it's hard to see on YouTube, but on Instagram, like I have my feed and it kind of tells a story, right? And my first couple of grows, I didn't monitor VPD at all, and you could tell. You could definitely tell. Nat, is there any total dissolved solids required in this grow style? Yes, that is why I have a TDS and EC monitor or pen, because I have to be able to see if they need more nutrients or where they're at. Tomato farmers pay attention to VPD. Oh, good to know. Yes, I'm just learning that VPD is so important. I just got myself a pulse monitor, and this thing has changed my life. It's changed my life for the better, but it's also now having access to my environment all the time. I can't sleep. Like I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, wait, let me check my app. And I'm constantly checking. The best tomato farmers in the world make a profit of $5 or €5 per square meter. They make pot farmers look like hillbillies. Nat, did you have any professional help setting all this up and building it? If this is all self-built, respect. I used to build houses. I was just looking at the infrastructure for this. So I worked with a manufacturer. This isn't all my creation. You know, they have the systems in place, and then you can you work them and they customize different modifications for you. But the tent and the layout itself, obviously I had a little bit of help with it. But in terms of since day one of growing and fixing things or putting things together or whatever, this is all me. I learned it all by myself. I've never even gardened before, let alone did aeroponics. So yeah, I mean, I can't believe I've learned this much. Yeah, it's crazy. I look at what I've created and I'm like, holy, it's crazy, freaking crazy. Yes, share it in the community, Death Squad. Would love to see them. I like to shotgun garden outdoors. I just plant 3 times what I need to, so I don't have to baby my plants. That's why I have 10 tomato plants, so I don't have to worry about it, because one of the plants will always have some tomatoes ready. We didn't know about VPD 25 years ago when we were growing in Rockwool. True. Sometimes less is more. DC's Bees, VPD is vapor pressure deficit. I don't exactly know the definition, but I think it's like the variance between temperature and humidity and the pressure that causes, if that makes sense. Cheaper option for me than Arrow and takes up less space when I'm not using it. A little more forgiving too. Absolutely. Old school head didn't know about VPD, but that's what y'all were dialing in to set up. Try and get better VPD under. It's extremely difficult to calculate accurate VPD at leaf surface because of microclimates. Isn't that a dew point on the VPD on the moisture on the leaf surface? Isn't that called the dew? Because that's different than VPD, right? Thank you so much, Showbro or Piash. So does the Wickershire. He says I'm wearing a wife beater. So, bro. Well, the Wickershire, if you're outside, I don't think you need, like, VPD has no purpose there. I think VPD is if you're growing indoors. I think I need to finish learning beekeeping before I dive into something like this. Took me 3 years to learn the beekeeping words. LOL. Well, you learn at your own pace here, DC's Bees, so it's no problem. No pressure and no problem. I think it's super awesome, even if I don't understand all of it. Me too! I don't understand most of it, to be honest with you. VPD quantifies the thirst of the air. It is a more accurate measure than relative humidity alone because it accounts for both temperature and humidity. Thank you. To determine how much the air is pulling moisture from your plant. Wow! You just made it make sense. Thank you. Temperature and humidity without leaf surface temperature useless when trying to use VPD. That would be the speed that air absorbs the moisture. Dew points are more of an issue if you have big temperature swings in the grow room, which I do. That's my problem, is like, it's so tough because now I'm learning about lung room, and I'm learning that your lung room environment is just as important, and my lung room is just a basement, and it doesn't have any kind of special environment. So, if your pH is off, it doesn't matter what your VPD is, plants will not uptake nutrients. Absolutely, which is why I always try to keep my VPD at a 6. It's kind of averaged out to make everything happy. DC's bees, don't feel bad, because 2 weeks ago I didn't even know. I knew what relative humidity was, I just didn't know that RH was relative humidity. So yes, you are correct, relative humidity. I'm learning along with you guys, so don't feel bad if you don't know, because I'm just pretending. I have no clue. I'm literally just spending as much time in here as I can, and learning as much as I can from you guys that tune in. I really, really appreciate it. And for those of you that are here that don't know, ask, because it helps me learn. All right. I'm gonna get rid of my cucumber plant because it's looking ill and I don't want to risk anything. So we're gonna start off with that. I think I'm gonna go maybe for another 45 minutes. I'm gonna get a couple things done before I sign off, because I feel like all I did was talk. You guys are probably like, does this girl ever shut up? You know what? It's because I'm feeling motivated and I'm excited about just making things better for my plants. Oh my gosh, do you guys remember that show Bumper Stumpers? The abbreviated license plates where you... This stuff is great. I can talk this stuff all day. Me too! Which is why I do the lives. Honestly, like, I have friends or family call me, and all I want to do is talk about my VPD and my environment, and like literally nobody cares except for me and you guys. So go live every day because you people are my people, and we speak the same language. I hope I have good air movement. I just moved my fans around. I mean, my leaves behind me are kind of moving a little bit. I feel cold because there's a breeze in here. So I think I have good air movement. That is the best part of the internet. Honestly, I found, you guys, like I didn't know how to germinate seeds. I didn't know how to do anything. And I just started putting myself out there, showing people that I don't know how to do anything. And you'd be surprised how many people just like came to the rescue and explained different things to me. And every single thing I know, even if I researched it, it's because the concept was prompted by the community. So somebody, like I had so many people early on asking, what's your VPD? And I was like, the f is that? And then eventually, when I wasn't so overwhelmed, I Googled VPD, but I had no way of measuring it because I didn't have a monitor. And so now that I have a monitor, an environmental monitor, I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing this wrong the entire freaking time. I'm working on a video. I was just gonna post it right before I hopped on the live, but I'm working on a video to show you guys the difference between this grow and my last two grows, the bell peppers, because you can tell I didn't even own a pH pen until last summer, and I had already been growing. I was already on my second, a year into the project, and didn't even know what pH was. I had an EC monitor because I knew I needed one, but it was still in the box from China. I never used it, I never touched it. So this grow, I'm checking everything, and now I'm freaking neurotic about it. What's up, Redwater? Thank you for being here. Happy Saturday, everybody. To those of you that just joined, we are hanging out in the grow tent. Got some work to do, and clearly I can't stop talking. Yes, I have pH drops along with pH pens. I have both. The Fluval pH testing kit is great, and then you just match the color. It grows in bin. I think I missed something here. It's only 74 in your tent. Wow, that's chilly. How do you keep it that cool? I got fans going like crazy, and also the air conditioning is on, and the tent's in a basement. How do I combat the mold? Well, I've got exhaust, like in the tent or in the house, you mean? The house is pretty dry, especially, you know, with the air conditioning in the summer, and then winter it's just naturally super dry where I actually have to add humidity. I bet so many people tell me I'm growing things incorrectly over the years. I just laugh because I still get a harvest. See, I laugh, and I can think critically. I can kind of gauge when someone's suggestion is worth looking into or considering versus somebody just being an ass. But yeah, I do try to be open-minded, listen, because I believe that there's always a better way, always. Fast grow harvest is all that matters. You can get better as you go. True. That's what it was for me. When I started, I didn't know anything. Just ran with it, like whatever, man. Just do the best I can and learn as much as I can and be honest. Fans actually warm the room, but my intake fans are pulling air that's air conditioned dry, so I'm a broke bitch. That's funny. White vinegar, even when watered down, will kill mold. Not if you have like crazy spores. I don't know. Will it? I don't know. Those Chickmasa trimmers are my fave. Nice trimmers. Yeah, they're so good. I mean, I know they're meant for trimming weed or bud, but I use them to trim or prune my plants, and it's such like a sharp, nice cut. Actually, 2 months ago, I sliced my finger with one, and it healed, and it still freaking hurts every day. So these are freaking sharp. Got the new dehumidifier at the other side of the room to the AC. Well, the AC is like ambient in the basement. It's all over the place. So I've got the dehumidifier there just because I had to run an extension. The power is maxed out in this tent. So I have to put it there until I get a longer extension. Yes, I've tried that. And I've also tried ACV. ACV does not work. If the powdery mildew is really far along, it does not work. It's like another skill or job. You have no clue what you're doing. Yes, until you gain experience, and then no one can take knowledge. Absolutely. You know, now I have people asking me like, hey, I see you're growing this. What do I do? Or how do I do it? I'm like, wow, sometimes I'm actually in a position to give people advice, which is so crazy. It's a testament to how far along I've come. Liebig's law of minimum, it emphasizes that even if all other factors are abundant, the limited resource will constrain the overall growth. Absolutely. What's up, Hank? Thank you for being here. Palmetto says, I remodeled my bathroom once, found black mold on the sprayed it with a lot of vinegar, and it never came back. Great to know. So it's tried and true. Oh, I actually have a printed apron, and I was gonna wear it on the stream, but I get flagged because it swears, but it says, I'll feed all you fuckers. Ambient, but the AC unit's in the room somewhere though, right? No, it's like, well, the AC is pulling, it's coming through a vent on that side, so you're suggesting that the dehumidifier should be on the opposite side? Thanks so much, Jack Ashes. Honestly, I went out this morning, took my dog out, and I was gonna water my plants, my flowers, and then I saw a freaking bee sleeping. I was like, oh no, I almost like heard him and woke him up. And then when I started to look around, there were several bees asleep in the flowers. It was so cute. That is so crafty. Pig says they've got a few car radiators attached to a tote that's hooked up to their in fan to bring the temperatures down. Radiators are hooked up to my water mains, but low water rates. Cool. That is very innovative. Love it. Love it. What's up, G Mama? Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. All right, so I'm gonna harvest this cucumber right here. It's an odd shape because I did not paint it properly, but that's okay. So I'm gonna harvest it. I'm gonna enjoy that later, and I should just eat it right now. I love. There's nothing like a homegrown cucumber, and the tomatoes are awesome. They're definitely getting better in flavor, that's for sure. So you guys, I took a cucumber plant just to make the call. It's producing, and it may or may not have issues like the other cucumber plant, and I don't want to risk it. The goal is to maximize the life of the current plants that we have. And, that's not going to happen if I don't get rid of this, because I'm starting to see some weird spots. No waste. I'm harvesting this one too. So for those of you that just joined, I had potential downy mildew earlier this week. I don't want to take any risks, my cucumbers, with this plant infecting the others. So I'm just going to harvest whatever's on it, and we're going to cut her down because it's the responsible thing to do in consideration of the other plants. Every night I've been spraying with Pure Crop as well to try to manage everything. I also don't use any mediums, just foam collars. So much better. What's up, Doc? Happy Saturday. Thank you for being here. Check your pH. Those cucumbers will show signs of, yes, so the pH is a little high, but that just happened this morning. Yesterday it was okay. So the other day when I had the other cucumbers that were infected, they had kind of spotting that looked questionable, and the cucumber plant here looked fine up until yesterday, and so I'm just being cautious by removing it. It's very possible that it's just a nutrient deficiency, but I don't want to take the risk, so I'm cutting it down. I'm going to stick some Armenian cucumber seeds, just one, and I'm going to replace this bucket with that plant and just have the one. To be honest, I've had this plant growing for almost 6 months anyways, so it was fun while it lasted. And we're gonna have to get this net pot cleaned up. I'm going to clean this up after I get live, and I will be switching my gloves because I'm going to touch other stuff. Yeah, there's root rot all over those cucumbers. Even though I did trim the roots and I got rid of the clay pebbles, it's the best call. It's the most responsible call. You know, if you're not sure, when in doubt, get rid of it. If you've got so many other plants growing, you don't want to sacrifice your entire grow. So yes, that's in the future plans, is to grow some cannabis. I consume, I just don't grow. And so, I don't know. I'm intimidated by it. I already got my hands full, you guys. And next is going to be root vegetables. I really want to get going with some garlic, some onions, some beets, potatoes, all that kind of stuff. All right, so I'm gonna just sterilize. So I soak my pruners in 29% H2O2, get some new gloves on, and we're gonna take a look at what we can kind of move around and just organize in the buckets. Again, those of you that just joined, I got rid of half of my plants, majority of the plants in the second bucket system, and so I want to now just make use of the space. Check temperature of your reservoir. Yes, so somebody said put frozen water bottles in my res, which is, I froze water bottle and I forgot to put them in. It's now 2 degrees too high, so the water temperature should be around 20 degrees Celsius. Mine is 20, well, it's almost 3 degrees too high. Mine's 22.8, and so that's too high, and that's also what could be causing issues with your roots. Absolutely, Hasholio, you're 100% right. And even G-Mama put out last week when I was trimming my roots for the first time that it can have an impact. Your water temperature can have a big impact, and mine is definitely too warm. So something to definitely revise, but that's happening today. By the time you guys tune in tomorrow, I'll have that under control as well. So it's all about the learning experience. But now I've got so many tools under my belt that the next grow, I'm really never gonna freaking sleep. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and she's telling me how she's got 2 young kids, and you know, she can't sleep at night because she's constantly worried and thinking of them. And in my mind, I'm like, girl, I've got 200 something kids in here. Imagine how I sleep. And I know it's different, but I literally feel these are my children. All right, so the first thing I want to do when I throw it out, great thing. Yes, exactly. Wisdom from the doc. It's so true, you guys. When in doubt, get rid of it. When in doubt, toss it the out. All right, so I've got a couple of clips, because first thing I'm going to do is clip the tomatoes. And you know what? To do this, I'm actually going to turn down the light because I've been in here for a while, and sometimes when I work right under them, I get burnt. So, all right. Alright, I've turned down the lights just for a minute. A water chiller is necessary for a system that size, yes. But I've had some people comment things like just freeze a water bottle and stick it in your res. Yeah, so the thing is, G-Mama, I definitely probably will eventually need one, but right now it's actually more about the humidities too. The temperature's not bad, it's the humidity. I'm gonna fix these tomatoes up. Stangman, my lighting schedule right now is 14-10. 14 on, 10 hours off. grabbing some tomato clips here. Yeah, bright, you gotta wear shades. How does Nat wear sunglasses at night? Answer, because the sun shines on her 24 hours a day. Actually, no, the Wickershire, 14 hours a day on, 10 hours a day off. I don't know why these tomato plants are growing so oddly. They're all over the place, so, and they also look wilted. They're not getting watered enough. I don't know what's going on with these tomato plants. Hang on. Alright, well, we'll give it time because the water schedule is on pretty frequently. Just do best to try to clip these. But yeah, they look really wilted. Something's going on for sure. Alright, I'm gonna have to check that. I hear the water coming on, but I don't see anything coming out. Oh, there it is. Nope, it's watering, so I don't know. I don't know, man. These nutrients are clogging up my lines like crazy, so I'm just dealing with that. This is the same way I learned beekeeping. The free flow of information on chats. Yes! I love it. I love it. YouTube University is much more useful and much than an actual university. Oh man, I'm not a school type of gal. I like failed math, science, and English my first semester of high school. I'm just not somebody who's into school. Taught myself how to live in the woods with just a knife from watching YouTube and practice. Wow, now that is awesome. I'll be learning beekeeping for the rest of my life. Yes, the learning never stops, you guys. The learning never stops. What's up, GT Junior? Thank you for being here. AC Infinity has a few new very humidifiers. Oh, cool. Honestly, I was just gonna get a small, cheap one just to get me out of this jam right now. Most home growers weren't in the government, so there was no internet for us. True. If y'all want to see any fire food content, subscribe. I mean, I'll check it out. I've got growing the food. I need some recipes for cooking it. I'm really good at getting stung by bees or wasps. That's funny. See ya, Pro Pyro. Have a great weekend. Thank you for being here. All right, so yeah, I don't know what's happening. My plants are kind of looking a little wilted in this bucket system, so I'm gonna have to check those nozzles. I was going to clip this plant here because these look kind of sad. I'll just flip you guys around while I work. I'm just trying to support the plant onto the trellis, that it doesn't flop over like it has been. It was like growing against the wall. Doesn't help that I broke my trellis. Now I need more clips. You guys make me laugh. I'm just getting some more timber clips. Hang tight. Alright, I don't have my clips handy, so we're going to move on to something else for now. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is spread out these pepper plants here. They're all, I have water all floor too. Something's going on. I'll have to deal with that after I get off this live. Alright, so I'm going to spread these pepper plants out a little bit. We're going to grab some of those 4-vessel buckets, bring them over here, and do 2 peppers per bucket, like how I have here. So in the 4-site bucket, I just have 1 plant on one side and another plant on the other. And usually they seem to do okay like this. This plant, I didn't top, and it's like a freaking tree, you guys. But look at that. All this new growth. I need to also get a trellis going for this. Maybe I'll move them to the other side. I don't know. We'll figure that out. There's too much to do in here, you guys. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is go get the other lids. I wonder why the grow lights would do that to bees. Oh wow. That's so crazy. I didn't know that. Alright, so I'm gonna take, again, I'm just gonna spread these pepper plants out. So there's one of them. I was asking G Mama a while back if her purple pepper plants have purple leaves, and after doing some research, yes, they do, but purple leaves can also mean a nutrient deficiency. I forget what nutrient it is, but it is also a nutrient deficiency. Yes, I will. I'm working on a video now. The thing is, it's so hard to calculate certain things because a lot of these were pre-pandemic when the costs were very different. And so even to calculate the consumption of electricity before versus after, it's really hard to tell because the cost of electrical consumption has increased significantly. So I'd have to calculate the increase first, like go back and look at what it was then versus now, and then add on the additional cost that it consumes. So yeah. But yes, I am working on it. I'm gonna do more like the range in costs just because it's really hard for me to say exactly, unless we're talking about the equipment. But again, that's changed too. Shipping from China is probably honestly twice as much now than it used to be. When I got this, yeah, pre-pandemic, I think. I'd have to think back. Honestly, I feel like I've lost so many years of my life in the last 5 years that I don't even know when I did what. I'd have to go back. So yeah, some of them are more stunted than others. Like, what is that? I don't know. Showing you guys all the because they look so pretty. Oh no, poppin' seeds. I feel like I'm on a rampage taking everyone's IG down, honestly. Oh, I didn't know that, Hasholio. Hasholio says you can boost anthocyanins, which is what makes what gives something a purple or reddish pigment by lowering temperature. Interesting. Phosphorus deficiency are purple leaves on the bottom of the plant. Yes. Yes, so that's what I have. My wife and I made a purple sriracha recipe, still tweaking it. That sounds awesome. Some of the outdoor greenhouse styles hold up to wind real well. Yes. My water temp is 22.8 degrees Celsius, which is too warm. So these girls are doing really well. So these are bell peppers, if I did not mention that. I wouldn't recommend using ice. I'm curious, why not? Some people put ice on their indoor grow. Really? Just to get that color? Yes, Pig. I'm aiming for between 20 and 21. I feel like I'm calling you a pig. I feel bad. All right. I mean, those are some pretty good roots. Considering all the problems I've had, nice. It's fine. Pigs are lovable. I guess it depends on who you ask. But pigs are cute. People kept calling me a cop. True. But yeah, these look so good. I'm just gonna stand here and show you guys them for a little while longer. But yeah, the pepper plant's looking great. And we've got some flowers. We're actually pinch those flowers off. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I got some crazy sized peppers on these plants next to me just from pinching the flowers off over and over and over again until like the 5th round, and then let them grow. And I pinched off anything more than 7 flowers, and I got some really nice sized peppers. All right, and then this guy here, it's a little baby. I didn't even finish the tent tour. I didn't even show you guys everything else. All right. Show you guys the finished product in a second. Also, the other day, I was like, does my tent smell like strawberry lip gloss or something? And I was like, I didn't put anything on. I'm not wearing cream or lotion or anything scented. And then I walked by my strawberry plant and I was like, holy crap, they are so aromatic. They smell so freaking good. My whole tent just smells of strawberries. And like good, not decomposing or rotting, like, yeah. Anyways. So yeah, I'll deal with the watering shortly. Obviously, these ones were in the first bucket right here, so they probably took all the nutrients and left nothing for those guys. I don't know what happened, but so now I've spread them out just like how these ones are. So these are 2 plants to a bucket, and I don't know why I did it like this actually. I'm just gonna rearrange that. I also have to cut the roots of these peppers because I overwatered them like crazy. I got some really bad root rot. Palmetto says, it's difficult to teach my wife what an appropriate amount of pruning looks like. When you're not experienced, it seems like you're a butcher plant. Yes, but I've also read that you don't want to remove too many leaves because that's how your plants photosynthesize, right? And so there's a fine line between how much and when. Still amazed by how well they work for taking the scent the air. All right. All right, so since I'm gonna actually, since I'm already on here and I'm working, I'm just going to deal with the root rot, my pepper plants, because this is gonna help us with our clogging issue. So I'm just gonna grab a tray and I'm gonna give my large, more mature pepper plants a trim. And don't judge me, the roots are really bad. I'm very aware, and I'm on the road to improvement. So be kind. I'm going to use this dome and I'll grab another one later. All right. Thank you so much, Stang Man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a 20 by 10, but it is hard to manage the environment in here for sure. Yes, Palmetto, that's what I've actually been doing to manage the humidity, is to like trim my roots, trim the leaves, prune everything. I'm really trying to manage the environment in some creative ways. Not creative, but different ways. Still learning to try to correct the way I speak. I prefer pruning to an open center. Yes, that's true. Pulling leaves is good for airflow, but each time it's like opening the plant up to infections. Don't prune my pepper plants really. I've pruned this plant once. Yes, the roots are bad. We have some nice, strong, thick ones. So I'm gonna trim what's bad. So I had my pruners in some 29% H2O2 for like, I don't know, half an hour. And like cutting your finger and leaving it open. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So I'm just going to trim some of these roots. HydroGuard from Botanica will save your roots. Yes, I was even going to starting my seeds with Coryza, which I've never used before. Don't really understand it completely, but I've heard that it's supposed to strengthen your roots at an earlier point in their growth stage, so that moving on for the rest of their time, the roots are stronger than they would be had you not used it. So just going to go ahead and remove any of this root rot that's not serving us. I mean, I don't know if I would really call this root rot. Like, it's not really falling off, and it's not really slimy. It's like, it's almost like the roots dried out and just got kind of brown. I use hydrogen peroxide for seed starting. I'm actually going to give these a root rinse as well. All right, I'm going to go get a jar to give them a root rinse. I follow the soil way, 100% living organic. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know crap about it growing outside of sprouting seeds. I'm in a 5x5 living soil gallon pots, 9 plants. Oh, awesome. Very, very cool. I'm just going to get a jar so I can give these guys a root rinse. Hang on. Don't go anywhere. especially if I'm trying to prolong the life of my plants that are currently here. It's the best to do a root rinse. I think it has to do with the speed at which the stem heals. A green fleshy stem heals much faster than a woody bark one. Oh, I did not consider that. Within the tent, adding CO2, great. So this is 3% H2O2. I've done this before and it takes the root rot right out. All right. Let me get back in the bucket. We're gonna clean up the next one. All right, guys, this one is like really, really bad. Again, water temperature too high. I overwater like crazy. Yeah, it's really bad. So I'm just gonna. See, the thing is, like, I feel like growing this way, people consider it overcomplicating it, you know? Whereas soil, like my outdoor garden, I just planted it, and even if I don't add nutrients, stuff still grows. So I understand what you're saying. You know, it does seem like I'm complicating it, but at least I get to grow in the seasons that I wouldn't normally get to grow. So because I live in Canada, I only get to grow my own food for a couple months out of the year, you guys. And this year, for my outdoor garden, I didn't plant my starts until, I feel like it was like at mid-June. And then now it's already cold out. They're already talking frost in Ontario. So it's like, that's it, the season's over. You know, and like, if you want a watermelon, good luck. That's not enough time to grow a watermelon. So I'm cleaning up the roots, getting rid of all this root rot. I'm going to show you. Living soil beds in that tent would be, sounds messy. Even with my one lemon seedling in soil. Yeah, I don't know. So you guys, I definitely need to do a better job with my root health, and I have ways to improve it that I've, you know, some of which I started to implement, some of which I can't until I start new seeds. But right now I'm just trying to salvage the pepper plants, and if I leave the root rot, they're just going to get worse. So, again, today is just kind of like a rehab day, looking what's around the grow tent, what can I fix or clean up or whatever. So, I mean, still bad, you guys, still pretty bad. but it's better than it was before. Oh my gosh, 100 degrees every day till October. You're so fortunate. All right, so it's not perfect, but it's better than it was. Even if I wipe the roots with like paper towel, they'll get slimy. The tent isn't specifically air conditioned. It's like regular air conditioning in the house in the summer. And normally I wouldn't care. I'd have like the windows open more than anything, but it's more for my dog. And also it helps with the grow tent. Helps keep the humidity down. And I've just wiped them down with a paper towel, like to dry them, and they're usually fine. They don't really get slimy in the system, so you're gonna need a heater in there. Yeah. In the winter, I won't. But in the summer, yeah, no, I don't know, man, it's weird. I don't know how to, I'm still new at monitoring the environment, and I've never monitored throughout the winter, so I'll let you know. All right, I'm gonna put this back into the buckets. What kind of dog do I have? She is a Cavalier, a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. She's so cute. She's similar to a Concord Spaniel, except smaller. And her name is Scarlet. And she's red. Yep, Julio, you're 100% right. And well, it's overwatering, which I've fixed. So this root rod is not new. It's been for a while. It's been rotting, and it's something that I've been putting off, and I'm finally tackling it now. So yes, overwatering, which I've significantly reduced. Also, not using high clean in the right way at the right time. It's supposed to make your fertilizer more soluble to help it not create debris and stain your roots like that. And also water temperature. So there's a few things that I know that I need to improve. So as long as I know where I went wrong, we can only go up from here. How fast does the water get out the buckets? What do you mean? So it's I'll show you. This is the pressure. It's pretty high pressure, and a lot of that is stained roots from the fertilizer. Do I change my reservoir once a week? So yeah, once it empties and depletes, which is every couple days, I try my best to make time to remove it and actually clean it, because there's a lot of debris and buildup that kind of just sinks bottom, and then it clogs up the pump filter. So it's something that I constantly have to clean, which is why I, might consider a different nutrients or a different fertilizer. All right, I'm gonna do the last two. When do you feed the water? Sit in the bucket or drain out? So I feed, so all the water depletes from the buckets. It finishes draining. I wash the reservoir. I clean the debris out, fill it with fresh water, and then I start the feeding process. I always add, I'm in Canada, so 1 gallon is 4 liters. I add in a tablespoon per 4-liter jug. So a tablespoon, 15 milliliters of 3% hydrogen peroxide per gallon. I add that in right off the bat when I add in my water. I let that circulate for usually about half a day, so several hours. And then usually so I do that in the morning, and then usually in the evening I'll add in my CalMag, let that circulate overnight, and then the next morning I would add my Bloom or Grow, whatever they're on. Need a good filter for the return water to keep the res clean. Yes, so the thing is, it's just a column that has a gasket with just like a little pipe. I don't know, it's a 1-inch pipe, and that's it. So at least if I had a filter, but then the problem is the water would get backed up in the column. So it's just an opportunity to rethink how I would modify this in the future. Yes, Jack Ashes, I'd love to try turmeric. That's in the plans. Hasholio, Hydrogard, or Great White, I'm gonna do it. I'm trying not to use chemically based products as much as I can help it. That's the purpose of growing my own food, is to grow it as clean as possible. I try not to spray my plants with anything, so I'll have to look into exactly what the ingredients are and the effects that it has on the food itself and us when we consume it. Are you using AC Infinity equipment in the tent? Can you show us the exhaust fan controllers? Okay, so here's the thing is I don't know why I never got around to it. After I set up these fans, I never figured out how to use them. So these are, it's just a Spider Farm controller. You can turn the exhaust on, off, or on a timer. And then I don't know, like I don't know what these functions are. I probably, oh my gosh, maybe this is the answer. Low temperature, maybe, do I put it on low humidity? Oh, and then you can set an alarm. The thing is, I have it on full blast, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I gotta figure out how to set the parameters on this, and if there's any other functions that I don't know about. To be honest, I was just like, let's grow when I started this, and then I got ahead of myself and so focused on like the plants themselves, the nutrients, and all other stuff that, yeah, I haven't even considered anything else. So much more to learn. All right, so I'm gonna do the rest of the pepper plants tomorrow. We're gonna finish this tomorrow. I'm gonna sign off now because I have other things to get done today. But happy Saturday, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. I had a lot of fun today, a lot of talking, so I apologize, but it was great to chat with you all and just get some feedback, talk, all things gardening, which is my favorite thing to talk about. Palmetto says I'm going to build round 2 and sending them to everyone so we can all get things done. Like I thought that on a depressed day. The best fertilizer ever had were the fish I forgot in my cooler for months. Oh my god, LOL. So this controller is Spider Farmer. It came with the fans, but yes, I would appreciate that for sure. Thank you so much, Staying Man. Appreciate you. And yeah, if ever you guys have any questions or want to chat, you can connect with me on Instagram and DM me, or you can post in the community on YouTube, and I always respond. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. You're awesome. I actually learned a lot today, so thank you so much for those of you that gave me some tips and tricks and information. This is what it's all about. This is the purpose of doing these lives. I love it. I learned so much from you guys. So thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Oh, here, I can link my IG. Copy link. I'm gonna put in the chat. Hang tight, you guys. I don't know why I can't paste it. All right, well, Be Fresh Princess I'm fun. Instagram, everybody. All right. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all. And we'll continue this tomorrow. See you guys. Have a good one.